I bet you that's a much better, interesting opening, isn't it? Hello there, everybody. Sabana to Academa, and welcome back to Umineko. There seemed to be some audio issues in the previous episode. Hopefully, those are, fixed. I mean, I hope they are, but I'm not entirely sure if they are or not. I've done a couple of tests, and so far, I think I managed to get rid of the low humming. I may be wrong, but let's just say I hope I got it. I hope I got it this time. Anyway. As she knocked loudly and repeatedly, Natsu yelled. Shortly after, there was a heavy clunking sound, and the sound of the door to Kinzo's study unlocking could be heard. As the door opened, a heavily sweet, venomous odor flowed out. Natsu was always ashamed of how she automatically grimaced at that, even though she thought it rude to the family head. Krauss was waiting for her inside the study. Natsu flew into his arms. With an uncertain gait, Natsuhi went towards the center of the study, supported by Krauss. Hello, Genji. Hello, Kumasawa. Hello there, Nanjo. There, a dignified bed fitting for the Ushidamiya family head could be seen, along with Nanjo, Genji, and Kumasawa. After sighing deeply, Nanjo left the side of the bed. On the bed, Kinzo could be seen lying down, sleeping. Okay, so now we're getting Kinzo is... We were aware Kinzo's dead, but now we're actually just kind of getting that right now. Natsu fell against the chest of Kinzo, the man who had fallen into a sleep from which he would never awaken, and sobbed. How crazy is it that, Natsu seems to be the most affected? I mean, I'm not sure how the other siblings would react, but I don't think they would have the same reaction as Natsu, apparently. Natsu couldn't stop her tears over the death of Kinzo, whom she had loved like a second father. Kumasawa rubbed Natsu's back, consoling her. Krauss slumped into his late father's favorite chair. By sitting there, he might have been immersed in memories of his departed father. Or perhaps he thought by sitting there, he might be able to understand just a bit of the badness of Kinzo's later years, which he had never been able to understand before. And Nanjo too, just like the times when Kinzo used to sit in that chair, contemplating a chess move, turned his back and looked down over the outside world through a crack in the curtains. Nanjo understood that as well. Ushidamiya Kinzo, who had risen like a comet in the business world after the war and glittered like a supernova, had died. His funeral would probably be of a fantastic scale, and it would also be the ceremony marking Krauss's inheritance of the headship. He would have to arrange everything as the host of the event, carry out funeral diplomacy perfectly, and make it clear that the Ushidamiya family still had an enormous influence in the political and financial spheres. As Nanjo watched Krauss, he was vividly reminded of the time when Kinzo had been suddenly selected as the Ushidamiya family head, the time in which Kinzo had been lost and confused. In this way, he was able to understand Krauss's distress and sympathize with it. Natsu's sobs eventually subsided. Watching this, and leaving Kumasawa to care for Natsu as a fellow woman, Genji returned, and, as though asking what should be done, Genji lowered his head slightly. I mean, yeah, you guys were the closest ones, I believe. Krauss, with his hand still over his eyes, didn't respond. Perhaps even though he had known this day would come, Krauss really couldn't hide his shock at how suddenly it had reached them. Maybe she heard that, or maybe it was a coincidence. As though responding to Genji's words, Natsu came over. Her eyes were red from crying so much, but she apparently understood the heavy responsibility that had been imposed on them even better than Krauss did. Trying to encourage her husband, who was overcome with shock, Natsu lent him some reassuring words. When Krauss finally lowered the hands that had been covering his face, he looked up at the ceiling with a blank expression and let out a deep, deep sigh. Well, there's a new expression I wasn't expecting. Ah.
なんとかなりませんか。亡くなったとはいえ、お父様の大切なお体です。傷をつけるなど耐えられることではありません。
気持ちはわかる。だが、そういうところをきっちりすることも大切だ。それに、こう言ってはなんだが、難しい親族の方々が多いんじゃないかね。
Oh, of course they're going to be difficult. Fighting over the inheritance? Who knows where those vultures after the inheritance would try to place blame? They might start an uproar over some suspicious point regarding the cause of death, and use that as a point of contention to start some trouble. Right now, not only was it important to pay Kinzo's remains in the respect they were due, but they also had to focus on solidifying the position of the new family head, Krauss.
わかりました。必要最小限にお願いします。間違ってもお父様の威厳が損なわれるようなお姿にしないように。
それは大丈夫だ。安心しなさい。とにかく金蔵さんのことはわしらに任せて、夏日さんはクラウスさんのそばにいてあげなさい。これからが大変なんだから。
分かっています。あなたもどうかしっかり。
Krauss was still staring lazily at the ceiling with a befuddled expression on his face. She understood the shock and heavy responsibility. Natsu understood her husband's feelings as much as anyone.
親族への連絡は私がします。今だけは休まれてください。
Krauss didn't respond. Natsu had thought him to be just a bit unreliable at the moment, and so had decided that she must support him. Seeing her husband like this actually stirred Natsu up, and a resolute expression rose to her face.
これから忙しくなります。今できることを始めましょう。夫はきっとお父様と二人きりで話したいこともあると思います。私たちは一度ここを退出しましょう。
そうでございますね。その時間はきっと今しか取れないでしょうから。
Being in charge of a funeral is tiring work. There's no time to shed tears. If Krauss were ever to be given time to cry for his dead father, that time would have to be now. Everyone agreed with Kumasawa's words. Even so, Krauss continued to lazily gaze up at the ceiling and didn't respond in any way. Natsu urged the servants to go.
私はジェシカにも話してきます。今やあの子が次期当主です。それにふさわしい自覚を持つようによく言い聞かせなくては。
待て。
Hmm? As they each started to make their way out of the study, Krauss finally spoke. They stopped walking.
はい。
待て。
はい。
Hadn't she already stopped walking, just like her husband had asked? But despite that, he had once again told her to wait. From those slightly weak words, Natsu understood that he had probably stopped her because he wanted her to be by his side.
お前たちは下へ。私は夫と言います。何かあったらここに電話するように。
かしこまりました。だから待てと言っている。
You okay, dude? When Krauss suddenly raised his voice, everyone jumped and turned around. Unable to comprehend what she had done to spark her husband's wrath, Natsu ran up to him.
どうしましたあなた。私は何か失礼なことを口にしてしまいましたか。だったらお許しを。
いや、違う。そうじゃない。そうじゃない。少し待て。時間をくれ。
ええ、分かっています。心を整理するためにも必要です。私たちはその時間をあなたにあげようと、ここから静かに出ていくだけですよ。
だからそれを待てというのだ。いいか、誰もその場から動くな。一歩たりともだ。疲れたなら椅子にでもソファーにでも好きに座ればいい。
You okay, dude?
だから何も喋らずに静かに黙って何もせずにいろ。
Jeez. Those unreasonable words felt like a glimpse of how Kinzo used to be. Natsu couldn't hide a slight surprise at those words, which made it seem as though Kinzo had possessed her husband or something. Natsu told the servants to wait for the time being. She ordered them to sit in a sofa, a short distance off, approached her husband, and spoke to him in a small voice.
あなたのお命じになれば、夏日はいくらでも待ちます。とどまります。ですからどうか、お気を鎮められてください。
違う。そうではないのだ。そうではないのだ。
Krauss, are you okay, man? Was it really blood, or was he actually being possessed? Krauss's disorderly style of speech strongly resembled Kinzo's. As she watched this, Natsu became certain that Krauss was Kinzo's son after all, and that he was the true successor to the head, more suitable than any other person.
Natsu, こっち。
Krauss stood up and headed towards the window, trying to lengthen the distance between himself and the servants waiting on the sofa by even a small amount. Natsu realized that he must have something secret that he wanted to talk about.
はい、あなた。
What is it, dude?
何事ですか。
親父に死なれてはまずいのだ。
Huh?
しかし、もうお亡くなりになりました。そういうわけには参りません。
そうじゃない。今はまずいんだ。
That it happened now?
どういうことですか。
親父の財産を担保にしている。
Ah, here we go. Here we go.
相続問題になれば隠しをおせない。 メロディーランドの時近藤君を応援したことがあっただろうね。
Kondo-kun in Melody Land?
あの方とは縁を切れと申し上げたじゃありませんか。私には断ったと言ったはず。どうして。
男の義理というものがある。
Okay then.
断れなかった。
Krauss claimed to hold honor as a virtue. However, Natsu knew that he most often used this as an excuse for when he reluctantly went along with some deal that he just couldn't refuse.
お金に余裕があるならいざ知れず。この島のリゾート計画でかなりの借金をされたのではありませんでしたか。
ああ、したさ。方々で恩人に世話になったのだ。それらを返済するためにも座しているわけにはいかない。返済するためには金がいる。金を生むためには金がいる。金がなければ始まらない。この島の計画だって企画会社がおかしなことにならなければ順調だったのだ。都の役人とも連携は取れていた。東京都の新しい観光スポットになると知事の太鼓判ももらえていた。私の根回しは完璧だったのだ。たまたま巡り合わせとタイミングが悪かった。ちょっとした運のすれ違い、事故みたいなものだった。
あれは事故なんかではありません。詐欺です。あなたは騙されたのです。初めから彼らはこの島のリゾート計画など描けていなかったのです。
そんなことはないぞ。土方君のビジョンは先見性にあふれていた。世界と未来に目を向けた広大な視野は私が夢だと信じていたものなど猫の額ほどの広さしかないことを教えてくれた。夢が広がる。世界に未来に。
So this would mean that yes, Krauss and Natsuhi were... Okay, how do I put this? They were hiding the fact that Kinzo was already dead. But that would also include that... That would also mean... Wouldn't that also mean that, Genji, Nanjo, and Kumasawa were in on this? Possibly?
夏日も一緒に聞いていただろう。
ええ、聞いていました。そしてお帰りになられた後に申し上げたはずです。あの方はうさんくさい。語るのは未来ばかりで地に足がついていない。これ以上お付き合いしてはならないと。
土方君は立派な好青年だ。彼の生き様からは学ぶことも多いぞ。
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
彼は若いが尊敬できる。彼のことを侮辱することは許さんぞ。
先見性がある、未来がある、夢があると連呼され、その挙句はいかがでしたか。荒唐無稽な話だったとあなた自らがお認めになったではありませんか。私はあの NASA の高官とか名乗るおかしな男が現れた頃からこれは絶対におかしいと確信しておりました。
Yeah, anybody claiming to be a high official of NASA, that's freaking suspicious.
あの件については私も曽根崎氏も被害者だ。彼の先見性は今をもって間違っていない。将来必ず世界の大富豪が宇宙旅行をたしなむ時代が訪れる。そしてその最初の事業は民間1社によって独占されるだろう。着眼点は間違っていない。それを利用して世界中の投資家を騙している国際的な詐欺集団がいて。
Krauss, you done fucked up.
曽根崎という男もその一味だったと申し上げているのです。あなたはどこまでお人よしなのですか。どうしていつもうさんくさい話を疑いもせずに乗ってしまうのですか。
訂正しろ。曽根崎氏は優秀な未来ある男だ。うさんくさくなどない。彼の語る夢は未来を先取りしているからこそ、それが見えるものには妄想にしか見えんだけだ。
Oh yeah, you got royally screwed, bro.
女のお前には未来など見えん。
ええ、女の私には未来など見えません。でも現在なら見えます。 私の目の前で狡猾な二枚舌の詐欺師たちに丸め込まれ騙されてなお妄信している哀れな夫の姿なら見ることができます。
Jesus, guys, calm down.
お前には金持ち業も経済も何もわからん。夫の仕事に口は出すな。妻は家事だけをしてればいい。
Sexist.
お前は黙っていろ。
Good lord, Krauss, you're gonna make her freaking break a blood vessel. Without another word, Natsu fell silent, just as Krauss had hoped she would. She was already far beyond anger and sadness, and the emotion that lay on the other side of those was an almost indifferent pity. Since the days of his youth, Krauss, who had always been fond of Kinzo, had started to subconsciously admire the way his father lived. Without realizing it, he had come to believe that he could only be recognized as a man in his own right if he surpassed his father. However, Kinzo had been a mad genius, the likes of which had never before been seen in the Ushidamiya family's long history. That talent was a gift from heaven, and it definitely wasn't genetic, much less something that could be learned. To give the two of them a chance to talk alone, Natsu told the servants not to tell anyone about Kinzo's death, and they left the room for the time being. Okay. And then she invited Krauss to her bedroom, and made him tell her everything about their current financial situation. These were things that Natsu hadn't been told about under the assumption that a woman had no business knowing. Natsu had herself made a point of avoiding this area in the past, thinking that it wasn't a wife's place to intrude on such matters. These were things that Natsu hadn't been told about under the assumption that a woman had no business knowing. Okay, that's in yellow. Oh, whoops, oh crap, I must have accidentally rolled back. My bad! However, this might also have meant that she had abandoned her duty as a wife to protect her family. The depths of this sin had been made quite clear to Natsuhi. Krauss was probably tired of trying to defend himself. Perhaps because he had gotten a headache, he hid his face and sank into silence. Natsuhi noticed that the water in the electrical kettle was boiling and stood up to refill her cup with black tea. And when she touched the cup of black tea, she noticed for the first time, the sound of the cup and saucer clinking together told her that her fingers were shaking. Krauss had built up a large debt to obtain funds for his various projects, and to cover the losses when they failed. Of course, he had put the mansion and property up as collateral. Oh, God, man. Krauss, there's taking risks, and then there's just being stupid. However, doing such a thing above board would result in the mortgage being registered. In other words, there would be a record that Krauss had put Kinzo's wealth up as collateral to obtain a loan without anyone's permission. Kinzo, Ava, and the others must not learn of such a thing. Therefore, Krauss had been putting those assets up as collateral using the worst possible method. Oh God. What Krauss was saying probably meant that he had, in essence, signed away the rights to his assets. If these assets had been used as collateral for a loan, then Krauss would still have some leeway under the law. He would have to deal with the bank, which would have absolutely no compassion. But they would be able to work something out within the rules set by society. However, signing away the deed and power of attorney was a whole different story. In other words, even the mansion they were living in. If the person holding the deed were to decide to ignore his agreement with Krauss and sell the mansion to a third party right this moment, they would have no recourse whatsoever. Far from using collateral for loan, this was basically the same as selling their house to borrow money. God, Krauss, what the fuck? Ugh.
つまり、後宮家の生殺与奪は金貸したちの手に委ねられていたわけですね。彼らがほんのわずかの気まぐれを起こして突然この家を売り払ったら、私たちは今すぐにも荷物をまとめ出ていかなくてはならないということですね。
理屈上はそうだ。
Krauss, man.
だが取引の相手はいずれも社会的信用のある人物ばかりだ。サラ金じゃないぞ。経済人同士の信用取引だ。私も相手を信用している。相手だって 私に金を貸すことで私が大きな事業を成功させ、投資した額が大きくなって帰ってくることを信用している。委任状を預けたのは私の誠意と事業の絶対の成功を疑わないからだ。ここで渋ったらどうなる？自分の事業に自分で自信が持てないことになるだろう。
Okay, so this gives them reason to pretend that Kinzo's still alive. I see. If your businesses had been successful, we wouldn't be in debt now, would we? Natsu only barely stopped herself from saying that.
お父様は亡くなりました。すると、あなたの借金が白日のもととなり、他の兄弟たちに咎められることになるわけですか？
All of that I have no doubt they would.
それだけでは済まない。多分、刑事訴訟にも及ぶだろう。
Mm-hmm.
刑事訴訟？どうしてですか？
君は知らない方がいい。とにかく、絶対にこのことを誰にも知られてはならんのだ。
Krauss looked at the floor shamefully, shaking his head over and over. If it would come to criminal charges, then he must have broken some laws. He had probably been so intent on raising a large sum of money that he hadn't paid any heed to appearances. Krauss had seriously believed that he would succeed with several businesses and that he would definitely gain huge profits. So he had figured that even if he broke a few laws, he would be able to pay everything back before too long and pretend that the whole thing had never happened. This might have lessened his resistance towards breaking a couple of laws, and now Kinzo's death, the worst possible thing, had occurred. And they wouldn't be able to keep it all hidden for long.
私たちはどうなるの？
心配することはない。君は信じてくれんな。景気は今確実に上向いているんだ。私が都心で投資した不動産価値はみるみる上昇している。今それらを統合して巨大ビジネスタワーを建設する計画が進んでいる。これは私のこれまでの投資の中で最も確実で最も大きな成功をしているものだ。ただそれは身をつけるのにまだ時間をかける。絶対に確実だが今すぐというわけではないのだ。
その事業の成功は借金を返済するに足りるものですか？
もちろんだと思う。これまでの借金を全て帳消しにできる。だから信じてくれ。もう少しだけ時間が欲しいんだ。
しかしお父様はもうお亡くなりになってしまいました。もうその時間はないのですよ。
分かっている。分かっているとも。だからどこかから金を調達して今すぐに借金を返さなくてはならない。とにかく金が必要なんだ。
Like all the other siblings, you need money.
金が大量に今すぐ。
And he had a mild stroke in mid-sentence. As Krauss roared and clutched at his head, he writhed about as if in pain. As she watched, several emotions swirled about Natsu's chest. Her emotions conflicted as she felt pity for her husband, but she also felt he was a fool. And she felt a mixture of resentment and regret towards her own irresponsibility in letting her husband run wild for so long. Even if this day hadn't come, it should have been clear that they were in a very critical situation. And yet he had carelessly waited for this moment to come, and was now writhing about. Her husband was so foolish and pitiful. It would be easy to let herself get fed up with this. However, she was his wife. For a wife to ridicule her husband as a fool would run in conflict with her responsibilities. If he was a fool, then she would have to support him to compensate. However, she didn't have a clue what she should do. Since there had been such a massive amount of money within arm's reach, it was only natural that Krauss had tried to dip his hands into it. It would also be easy to tell him to be a man and give up on all of it. But that would also run in conflict with her responsibilities. She was Ushidamiya Natsuhi, the woman who had become Krauss's wife and sworn to support him, the new head of the Ushidamiya family for her whole life. She had to somehow help her husband in his efforts to raise money. She understood it logically, but she couldn't suppress the indescribable dejected feeling that seemed to rise up from the dark depths of her heart.
そうだ。親父の隠し黄金。10トンの黄金なら200億の価値がある。俺さえあれば。そうそう。俺さえ見つかれば万事は解決する。夏日、あれだ。魔女の碑文だ。あれを解こう。一緒に解こう。黄金さえ見つかれば万事解決なんだ。そうさ。この島のどこかに隠されてるはずなんだ。あれさえあれば。あれさえあれば。
Getting desperate there, buddy.
一体あなたやめてください。
Krauss, what are you doing? Krauss, acting as excited as if he had thought of a perfect, brilliant plan, grabs Natsu's upper arms tightly. Natsu couldn't help but be dumbfounded. She wasn't just taken aback because she'd heard something as fake-sounding as the hidden gold brought up. Krauss usually disparages the story of the hidden gold, saying that it didn't exist and that it was all an illusion his father had created to borrow a lot of money. Because of this, Natsu was doubly taken back.
そうだ。ジェシカにも協力してもらおう。子供の感性でなら解けることもあるかもしれない。今は一家の一大事なんだ。みんなで協力し合わなくてはならない。
Good lord, man.
そうだ。あんなの親父が作った気まぐれな謎なんだ。解けるはずさ。解けないはずがないんだ。
Well, Ava was able to solve it.
それしかないんだ。ああ、夏日。本当に良かった。
And you have officially lost your mind. He probably succumbed to the Kinzo madness.
まだ手は残っていたんだよ。こんなに身近に。この島に黄金はある。それさえあれば万事解決なんだ。
Yep.
夏日、ジェシカを呼ぶんだ。今すぐここに。家族の危機は家族で乗り越えよう。さあ早く。黄金はこの島にある。すぐ身近にあるんだ。
Unable to withstand the pain in the arm he was twisting in his excitement, Natsu knocked Krauss aside. Krauss tripped over the edge of the bed and flopped over onto the floor.
いい加減にしてください。そしてどうか冷静になられてください。後宮家の一大事にそんな夢みたいなことを言い出してどうするというのですか。
夏日。
あなたもよく頭を冷やされて現実的な金策をお考えになってください。私も頭を冷やしてきます。
Wouldn't blame you for taking a lot of meds to get rid of that headache you're probably going to be feeling it very soon.
待ってくれ、夏日。
Maybe he had come to his senses the instant he fell over. Krauss tried to tell Natsu to stop, but she just kept walking. After closing the door forcefully, Natsu dashed away. Natsu ran through the corridor. Even though she didn't want anyone to see her like this, she ran headlong into Genji.
大変失礼いたしました。奥様、お怪我はございませんか？
私は大丈夫です。放っておきなさい。
かしこまりました。
源氏、お父様の書斎はどうなっていますか？
そのままにしております。南條先生は客間におられますが。
そうですか。書斎の鍵は持っていますか？
はい、ございます。
お貸しなさい。しばらく私とお父様の二人きりにするように。
Okay.
もし主人に私のことを聞かれても知らないというのですよ。
かしこまりました。
After grabbing the key to the study that Genji was holding out to her, Natsu rushed up the stairs. Okay, this is... She then flew into the study, and finally let out a wail and cried.
"お父様、愚かな私たちをどうかお許しください。私と主人はお父様の築き上げてきたものを受け継ぐことができません。 罪深く愚かな私たちをどうかお許しください。そしてもしお許しいただけるならば、どうか愚かな私たちをお導きください。
Okay, so from this, out of pretty much everybody, I mean, not counting Genji and Nanjo, I probably should have made this. I mean, I really should have already thought of this already, but seems like pretty much Natsu's the only one who, like, is extremely devoted to Kinzo. Clinging to Kinzo as he slept in the bed, Natsu cried even harder. She kept imagining Kinzo sitting up suddenly and patting her head. No, father isn't the type of person to pamper. More likely he'd yell at me to stop being so noisy. However, neither of these imaginations came true, because it was an undeniable fact that Kinzo had entered an eternal sleep. But even so, Natsu begged the sleeping Kinzo to forgive and help them. Only a few hours had passed since his passing. Perhaps his soul was still here, listening to her. Believing this, Natsu begged for Kinzo's forgiveness and help even more earnestly. Huh? That voice made Natsu jump up in surprise. When she faced in the direction that the voice had come from, she saw Kinzo sitting at the study desk, folding up his reading glasses. Natsu understood. This was just an illusion, one that Natsu had created out of her desire to speak with the memory of Kinzo as he once was. No, that's not it. She believed that, just for now, Kinzo's soul had shown itself to her. She was sure that doubting this would cause it to vanish in an instant. You got that right. Kinzo had become the family head suddenly. At the time, he had been nothing more than a single young man from a branch family, far separated from the Ushidamiya main family. The main family might have had honor and tradition, but Kinzo had had nothing to do with that. Then, the principal members of the main family were wiped out in the Great Kanto earthquake, along with their businesses. On top of that, there had been a complicated antagonism between the members of the family at the time. And the elders were all trying to impose their will on the others in that sinking ship. Because of this, they weren't even able to elect a leader to revive the Ushidamiya family. They then founded a common ground and selected Kinzo, a youth with absolutely no ties to any of the opposing elders, to be the head. So the elders hadn't really entrusted Kinzo with the rebuilding of the Ushidamiya family. Kinzo had been nothing more than their puppet, with his arms and legs being pulled in opposite directions.
そして戦争が始まった。当時の私はもう生きていくことに疲れ果てていた。戦場で死ねればと願ったが、前線には送られなかった。しかし日に日に戦況が悪化し、本土決戦の時が近づいてきていた。私は不謹慎にもその日が早くやってくることを願っていた。
After listening to the approaching footsteps of that god of death day in and day out, it is said that Kinzo started cutting his ties with this world one by one. And then, on that day when he had severed all of his regrets, when he reached a state of enlightenment, it is said that he had a mystical experience. It is said that he met her, the Golden Witch, Beatrice.
私は魔女と契約を交わし、黄金と狂気の力を与えられた。その日を境に、古き私は死に、狂気の魔力を得た新しき私が誕生したのだ。
存じております。そして戦後、お父様は天才的辣腕にて後宮家を復興させるのです。
The now deceased elders who knew Kinzo at the time had whispered to each other that Kinzo must have bumped his head on the battlefield and returned with a different personality. That was how much Kinzo had stood out after the war. Whether the story about Kinzo meeting a witch was true or not, there could be no doubt that the extraordinary experience of war had prepared him for death and had let him reach a state of enlightenment. Surely, if he had decided that to describe the mystical experience that had occurred as a result as being a meeting with a witch, that claim shouldn't be dismissed out of hand.
そうですね。お父様は戦争からお帰りになり、魔女ベアトリーチェを従え、真の意味での後宮家当主となられたのです。
そうだ。ベアトリーチェに出会う以前の私は、当主と呼ばれるだけの人形に過ぎ。私は黄金の魔女を従えて初めて当主たり得たのだ。
お父様、その黄金の魔女は新しき当主である夫クラウスには力を貸してくださらないのでしょうか。
貸すであろうな。真に当主を継承したならば。
真に継承するとはどういう意味ですか。
真の意味で後宮家の当主としての責任と誇りを持てるかどうかということだ。
Well, in terms of who actually bears the responsibility of the Ushidamiya family, we know for a fact, I would like to think that Natsu seems to take the family the most seriously, honestly.
Natsu, お前ならば分かっているはず。
Well, okay. Next to Ava, but I think Natsu's motives are definitely more pure than Ava's, I think.
当主とは血で継承されるものではない。魂と信念によって継承されるのだ。クラウスが我が長男であっても、それがなくては真の当主とは呼べない。そしてそれが心に宿されていたなら、その人間はたとえクラウスでなくとも立派な新しき当主である。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェはその真の当主に力を貸すである。そうであるな、ベアトリーチェ。
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. When Kinzo called the witch's name, gold butterflies seethed out of every corner of the room. This fantastical scene had an otherworldly beauty to it. It was like standing in the midst of a blizzard of golden flower petals being blown about a rose garden of gold. As Natsu stared at this scene in shock, the gold butterflies gathered and formed a human shape. Then, the witch of the portrait appeared.
いかにも、わらわこそが後宮家顧問錬金術師、黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェである。
Well, you're Peace Beatrice, not the meta Beatrice.
わらわは奔放にして自由。誰の命令も聞かぬ。
それを世界でたった一人、私だけが支配した。だからこそ後宮家の当主たり得るのだ。
その傲慢さこそが後宮家当主の資格だというか。
傲慢とはすなわち自信であり勇気である。そしてそれに見合う力を得ようとする悪なき向上心の表れである。だからこそ私はお前を支配した。
傲慢を語る男がそれを実現していく様を見るのは心地よいものだ。不言実行は強運なる者の言い訳に過ぎぬ。真の王者は持たぬ者さえも語る。そしてその傲慢を確かに実現してみせるのだ。わらわを支配できる者にはその王者の傲慢が必要だ。
わかるか、夏日よ。真の王者はあらゆる苦難を恐れぬ。必ず乗り越えられると公言する。その算段がなくともだ。だから弱者は希望を持つ。集い、あがめ、協力を誓う。そこに力が生まれ、有言は実行されるのだ。それを心に刻め。
はい、お父様。
Natsu understood. Through this mystical experience, Kinzo was telling her how to prepare herself to overcome hardship, even after his own death. Feeling a warm feeling rising up in her chest, she let the valuable words Kinzo had given her echo through her mind over and over. A true monarch, in other words, the true head of the Ushidamiya family, must not be afraid of hardship. This person must believe that they could overcome any hardship. If they could not believe this themselves, then they would have no way of overcoming it. She had suddenly felt very ashamed of the way she had come into this room, sobbing and asking Kinzo what she should do.
私は愚かでした。後宮家の一大事に泣き言を言う暇などあるわけもありません。そしてお父様から後宮家を引き継いだ以上、私たちは何があってもその名誉を守り抜きます。
ほう、どうやってクラウスの借金を返済するか、その青写真も描けぬのにか。
As Beatrice laughed unpleasantly. No, that wasn't it. She was testing Natsuhi to see whether she possessed the mental readiness to be a true monarch. Natsuhi wasn't confused anymore. She answered clearly, gazing into Beatrice's eyes.
はい、今はどうすればいいのか、その方法をまだ見つけることはできません。しかし、私の夫は新しき後宮家の当主であり、私はそれを支える妻です。ですから、夫に代わり、私が宣言します。
聞こ
う。後宮クラウスと夏日は、必ずやこの苦難を乗り越え、後宮家の名誉を守ってみせます。お父様にご心配をおかけすることはありません。
クラウスの借金の規模と惨憺たる状況については知っておるな。
はい。この屋敷さえも明日には立ち退けと命じられても拒めぬという最悪の状況です。遺産分配となれば親族たちに刑事告発さえされるかもしれません。しかし心配には及びません。そうなる前に借金をすべて返済し、名誉を取り戻します。
As she stood at attention with a resolute attitude, Natsu proclaimed this clearly with Ushimida, Kinzo, and Beatrice as witnesses. For a while, they remained silent as though weighing Natsu's resolve. Then Kinzo chuckled and turned away.
なぜにこやつが 我が息子ではなかったのか。
その資質を持つ女を息子がめとったことさえ、これもまたそなたの強運よ。
ベアトリーチェ、私の最後の命令だ。
ん？
当主でないそなたの命令をもはや聞く義理はないぞ。
ほう、ならば新しき後宮家当主の命令に従え。
そなたはすでに当主でなく、クラウスは未だ当主ではない。わらわは誰に仕えよというのか。
Natsu, I assume?
お前にそれを委ねる。後宮家の当主を受け継ぐ資格があるかどうか、そして片翼のわしの紋章を背負うにふさわしいかどうか、お前が確かめるのだ。
断るぞ。
ね。
当主でなき男の命令など聞けぬわ。
いや違うぞ。これは遺言である。当主が残したお前への最後の命令である。
Ah, damn loopholes.
ならば従わぬわけにはいかぬか。わらわもつくづく付き合いがよ
違うな。
い。ほう。
興味を持ったからであろう
つくづくそなたには隠し事ができんな。
が。夏日、
はい、お父様。
乗り越えてみよ、この苦難を。
はい。
That might have seemed like a mere response to Natsu, but to Kinzo and Beatrice it seemed to be something of a much greater significance. Beatrice nodded deeply, and with emotion as elegant as her dress, she bowed deeply before Natsuhi.
後ろ宮家顧問錬金術師黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ、ここに後ろ宮家の苦難を再び乗り越えるため、そなたの力となろうぞ。
ありがとう。あなたの力が必要です。私たちは必ずこの苦難を乗り越えます。
そのために助力は惜しまぬが、先に断らねばならぬ。
Oh boy.
かつて金蔵の窮地を救ったように、そなたに再び莫大な黄金を与えれば、この度の苦難は解決することは分かっている。しかしそれはできぬのだ。
そうですか。
すまんな、夏日。ベアトリーチェの黄金は私一代限りという契約なのだ。そしてそれを受け継ぐためには魔女の碑文を解かねばならぬのが取り決め。
黄金は碑文にて封じられている。だからそれを解けぬ限り、そなたに黄金の魔法は与えられぬ。
わかりました。ならば他の方法でこの窮地を脱する方法を模索しましょう。主人は時間をかけるとは言っていますが、必ず借金は返済できると言っています。そのための時間を得ることができれば、この苦難は乗り越えられます。
よいぞ、夏日。続けよ。
しかし金蔵はもう死んでいるぞ。医者と使用人は葬儀の準備。そなたは親族たちにその連絡だ。そなたは自らその金策の猶予時間を終わらせる宣言をすることになる。自ら刃を下ろす断頭台も愉快なものよ。
Startled, Natsu looked up at the ceiling. There wasn't actually anything there, but even so, Natsu had found something.
降りたか、魔力が。
夏決まった。 わらわに望む奇跡の魔法を。
Once again, all of those who had witnessed Kinzo's corpse were gathered in the study. Krauss was still impatient and clutching at his head. Genji was expressionless as ever. Nanjo and Kumasawa wore bewildered expressions on their faces. But in stark contrast to all of them, Natsu wore a resolute expression on her face.
あなたにもう一度お尋ねします。金策は間違いないのですね。
1年いやせめて半年あれば必ず実る計画なんだ。しかし今すぐにはどうしても無理なのだ。
ならばそれを待ちましょ
う。しかしお前も言ったぞ。親父はもう死んでしまった。
お父様はお亡くなりになどなっていませんよ。まだこうしてご健在であられます。
Oh. When Natsu said this, everyone jumped and looked up, because they had instantly understood what those words had meant. However, Krauss alone didn't get it right away and asked her.
それはどういう意味だね。親父はもう現にそこに。
繰り返します。お父様は未だにご健在であられます。ご自身の研究がお忙しいので、これまで以上に書斎を出ることはできません。
Oh. So, it was Natsuhi's plan.
ですから私たちは、お父様が研究に専念できるように、外務をすべて執り行い、お父様に不要なお仕事が及ばないようにしなくてはなりません。つまりそれはこれまでと何ら変わらないということ。理解できていますね、源氏。
はい。片翼のわしの家具はこれからも親方様にお仕えいたします。
熊沢、そして南條先生、私の話は理解できましたね。
それでいいのかね、夏井さん。
お父様は確かに今日お亡くなりになったかもしれません。しかし今この場にいる私たち全員が信じることで、お父様を蘇らせる魔法を使うことができます。
無理ですよ、奥様。そんないくらなんでも。
解剖すれば死亡時期を特定される。不審がられることは避けられん。
Well, I mean, you could always burn his body.
お父様はお亡くなりにならないのですから、解剖などされる言われはありませんよ。
Of course, she wasn't planning to make it seem like Kinzo would live forever. The fake life given to Kinzo would only last until Krauss could repay his debts. After that, Kinzo's soul would finally be able to sleep in peace. Nanjo repeatedly said that the time of death would be discovered during the autopsy, but Natsu kept saying that this wouldn't be a problem.
お父様は死亡届によってお亡くなりになるのではありません。
そうか。失踪届か。
After clapping his hands together, Krauss stood up, shaking his fists.
そうです。借金が無事に返済でき、お父様にお休みいただける準備が整ったなら、その時にお父様の失踪を宣言します。
Ryokanjima's vast, uncultivated forest was the perfect place to stage a disappearance. One day, Kinzo would go out to the forest for a walk and never return. They would search for him without success and then be forced to report his disappearance.
失踪なら死体がなくても死亡届を出せる。つまり死亡時期を隠せるということだ。どうだ、南條先生。これなら何の問題もない。確かにそういうことにはなりますが。
Huh. So Krauss, Natsu, Okay. Natsu was the one who made the plan. And the people who knew were Nanjo, Kumasawa, Genji, and Krauss. This puts a big spin onto things.
それで良いのですか、奥様。確かに私たちが黙っていれば、親方様がお亡くなりになられたのは秘密にできるかもしれません。ですが、どこでどう間違って誰かに知られないとも。
熊沢、声が大きいです。お父様はあちらでお休み中なのですよ。起こしてしまわれるつもりですか？
It isn't a corpse. Kinzo is sleeping. As Natsu said that, Kinzo lay quietly on the bed as though there was nothing at all odd about her words. Ooh?
さあさあ思い出してごらんなさい。そなたがどんな姿をしていたのか、そなたがどんな日々を謳歌していたのか。
Once again, a storm of gold butterflies started to swirl, covering Kinzo's cold body. Then, after the butterflies exploded into fine gold powder and disappeared, just like those fairy tales that had been told over and over since long ago, Kinzo slowly opened his eyes and sat up.
お父様。
夏日、先に我が名誉のために断っておくぞ。私は生への執着からそなたにこれをそそのかしたのではない。
嘘つきめ、多少は予見していたであろうが。どうだ金蔵、体の方は。
悪くはないが、どこか夢の中のような感じだ。重みがないな。
この世にとどまることを許されぬ存在が未だとどまっているのだ。多少の不自由は諦めよ。
お体は本当に大丈夫なのですか？本当に大丈夫なのですか？
むしろ心地よいくらいだ。これが死後の世界の感覚ならば、幽霊気取りも捨てたものではないぞ。
これにてどうか、夏日。金蔵はよみがえった。故に葬儀は不要。そなたの苦難はこれにて解決だ。
ベアトリーチェ。
As Natsu tried to find words of gratitude amidst her confusion, Beatrice waggled her pointer finger and spoke.
感謝の言葉はいらぬぞ。支配者は傲慢であればよい。わらわは頼みは聞かぬが、命令には従うのでな。
それでも言います。ありがとう。これで主人のために時間が稼げます。あとは私たちの仕事です。
しかし夏日、確かに金蔵はよみがえったが、それは永遠ではない。我が魔力が続く限りである。半魔法の毒素により魔法は破られてしまうかもしれぬことを心せよ。魔法の断りを正しく理解し、その維持に努める。わらわはそなたに奇跡を見せるが、それをつかみとどめるのはそなたの役目だ。
無論です。あなたにもらったこの奇跡を私たちは決しておろそかにしません。
それでよい。なるほどな。主と畳は新しい方がいいというのは本当らしい。気に入った。わらわはそなたに仕えようぞ。後ろ宮夏日。我こそは後ろ宮家顧問錬金術師、黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ。いつでも我が名を呼ぶがいい。さすれば現れ、わらわはそなたに奇跡を授けるであろう。
ありがとう。私は後ろ宮夏日。あなたを刺激し、後ろ宮家の名誉を守ります。
Huh. Well. Oh, the family conference of the previous year, October 5th, 1985. Well, we'll do that one in the next episode, actually. As long as it'll let me do this. Come on. Thank you very much. And let us go to system. Thank you very much. Save. Okay. I'm gonna have to check the footage of this. I'm gonna apologize again if there is still that low frequency humming noise. I hope it's not present, and I'm gonna check the audio levels because I know I did a couple test recordings, and from what I listened, it didn't sound too bad, hopefully. But if it is, please tell me, because I'm very much incompetent. So obviously, even though this is going, I mean, like, you guys are currently watching this, but after I'm done recording this, which will be like, you know, before this is ever uploaded, I'll get to work on that Discord server idea that I mentioned earlier. Also, again, Art50, thank you very much for kind of giving me a bonus idea to add on to this. He suggested that we'll have, like, several, little subgroups in the, okay, how am I going to summarize this? We're going to have several subgroups in the Discord server itself. So there would be like one for Umineko, one for Higurashi, one for Fate Stay Night, and more for pretty much any other Let's Play that I do on this channel. But in each of those groups, there will be two subgroups. The spoiler group, where people who know far ahead of the story can discuss their thoughts and stuff, and a non-spoiler group, which I will actively participate in, where everybody doesn't really, hopefully doesn't spoil anything, and we just kind of discuss ideas. I'm still trying to work out the schedule on how I would even be able to schedule a day where I can jump in on some of these little conversations, and I don't know. We kind of doing this idea because I thought it would be a good idea to try to get in touch with you guys, try to, you know, toss around ideas for, I mean, like, for the non-spoiler groups, while the people in the spoiler groups can talk away as much as they'd like. I don't know. I'm betting at the time you guys are watching this, I'll still be working on the Discord, and I will give you guys an update on when the link will be up. And anyway, good lord. Sorry for the little noises that you were probably hearing. I was kind of fidgeting in the chair, honestly, because this is a different setup that I'm not used to. I probably need to get myself a secondary desk because I've got the microphone on my lap. I got the microphone on my leg right now. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys. I'm just gonna go and say this right now. Thank you guys very much for your comments yesterday. It really helps. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.